farming support may depend on how we look after the land. It probably will. So we're taking samples with the whole place, deep soil sample this year. Not only do we know the PK and nitrogen levels, we also know the trace element levels as well, and how we're balanced. To that effect, that we're only showing NutriBoost, which is selenium, sodium and nitrogen, along with either a straight of P or a straight of potash or whatever we need. To that effect, we're hopefully improving the soil conditions. We have subsoil nearly all the grazing platform at one stage or another, so this would be a very heavy field, yet it's coping very, very well with the unpredictable weather we've had in this last 3 weeks. Soil structure is such that we have stopped spreading slurry on the grazing platform. We're only spreading farmyard manure. Actually, we do it in the middle of the summer. We spread half the grazing platform in the middle of the summer very, very lightly. This stimulates the worm production, so they're not getting a soaking of rain. We're looking for good deep topsoils. We dig pits in different areas of the farm to see how far our worm culture goes. We don't want a slabbed soil, we want a nice open friable top 6 or 7 inches. And therefore if we look after that, it'll produce grass and ultimately produce beef. Growing red clover is to help livestock compaction. A deep rooting taproot here, it gets down into our heavyish clay soils. pH in this field is 7.0, so it likes a good pH in the soil. We have sowed no fertiliser on this field for 2 years now, and the only fertiliser I possibly would tend to sow would be potash once a year. It's producing 350 kilos of nitrogen per hectare anyhow, so we don't need to add any more nitrogen to it. We estimate we'll get 35 bales to the acre over the season. This is our 3rd cut, so we'll probably get 2 more cuts before we're finished. We don't really tend to graze it. It could be grazed by sheep later on in the year, but we don't really tend to graze it. We're trying to keep this as solely a protein crop, but it's very good for opening up the ground structure, and when we come to reseeding it in 4 years' time, the ground will be lovely. And I'll show you a field that's just out of red clover and into a herbal ley in the next segment. We've got red clover, white clover, a perennial ryegrass, plantain and chicory, and it's very palatable. They may select different plants to eat at different times. As you can see, the tetraploid ryegrass is mainly eaten first, but let me tell you, they will zip it down as far as you would let them zip it down. Last year we had to physically remove cattle from this field, and again it's in after red clover. Again, this would be a heaviest type field. The varieties we have picked do well in this sort of soil conditions. Again, it's opening up the soil structure. Plantain's very palatable, very high protein. So we're trying to again mitigate a lot of the things we do on our grassland paddocks, where we're sowing 186 kilos of nitrogen per hectare, where we're doing, shall we say, more intensive type farming. This is really to alleviate some of the intensive bits of farming we are doing, and going forward we intend to sow a bit more of it. This field again has only got half a bag of P this year. It has got no nitrogen so far, so there's plenty of red clover there, plenty of white clover producing nitrogen, so we don't think it needs it. So far the heifers are doing well. Another thing that we're investigating, we're not sure about this yet, is the anthelmintic properties of this. This batch of cattle have not been dosed since they came out of the house in February time. They're very clean, they're very shiny, they're doing very well. The live weight gains we haven't had them weighed recently, so I can't really update you on the live weight gains. And on eye gain, they're doing well. They're fleshed well, but again they're easy fleshing type cattle. So it's a tip on the toe in the water, shall we say. This is our 2nd year for this field here. We'll graze it a bit higher. It doesn't look as neat and tidy as some of our paddocks that we have at home with cows and calves, but it's still a very, very nice mix. And if it helps again to suck up a bit more carbon, reduce my carbon footprint, it's definitely worth doing.